Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Senate refers Aviation Minister to committee. INEC assures that voting materials will get to centers on time during Anambra governorship election. Family and friends hold one-year prayer for strongman of Kwara politics, Dr. Olushola Saraki in Ilorin, and a French Catholic priest kidnapped in northern Cameroon. Now all our top stories and other programs can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. And you can now interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. If you have a picture or a video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android application on your device. Swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share your reports, pictures, and videos. Despite efforts at ridding the roads of bad eggs, some security agents have continued to engage in extortion on the roads. This amateur video from our Eyewitness application right now on your screen was recorded by a motorist on Alfred Rwani Road by Golden Gate traffic lights in Ikoyi, Lagos. The account of the motorist is that the traffic light was on green, and when it turned red, the motorist was on the yellow crossing. Despite appeals, the unidentified LASMA official allegedly followed the motorist to withdraw 8,000 naira from an ATM machine to extort money.
$4,000, really? Give me 8,000. I'm going to give you 8,000 now, my brother. 4,000. Ah! I'm not an emergency. I'm going to the hospital and have an emergency. Please, card last one.
It is to be recalled that a similar incident occurred where one Corporal Chris Omeleze was also caught on camera demanding a bribe from his victim, and he has since been dismissed from the force. Well, I'm now handing over to Gloria Ume Ezioke, live in Abuja, for more on the news at 10. Hi, Gloria.
Well, many thanks for joining us here at the nation's capital. It is exactly 1 year that the late strongman of Kwara politics, Dr. Olushola Saraki, passed away as a result of illness. And to mark this day, a prayer was organized for the repose of the soul of the late politician by his immediate family. The event, which took place at the Ilorin Central Mosque, was attended by prominent personalities from different parts of the country. The eldest son of the deceased, Senator Bukola Saraki, expressed delight in the accolades poured on his late father, promising to keep his legacy going.
All roads led to the Ilorin Central Mosque in the heart of the capital of Kwara State, as dignitaries from all walks of life thronged the mosque for the one-year prayer organized for Dr. Olushola Saraki, the man popularly addressed as the icon of Kwara politics in his lifetime. As big as the mosque is, it could not contain these dignitaries, among whom are family members, serving and former governors, political associates of Dr. Olushola Saraki, members of the National Assembly. Others include the Vice Chairman of Channels Television, Mrs. Shola Memo, businessmen and women, as well as various political groups across Kwara State. The chief imam of Ilorin, Alhaji Muhammad Bashir, in his sermon reminded the gathering about the inevitability of death, and like the famous William Shakespeare, asked them to be prepared, as it could come any time. After the prayer session, tributes flowed from the eldest son of the departed politician, as well as the governor of Kwara State.
As what he worked for and lived for, we will continue to try our best to sustain that. We thank all the people of Kwara State, Nigeria too, who have come like this and showed that they love for the family.
They have served as a unique point to evolve a process that is endearing to change the lives of people for better. He spent his resources personally to ensure that good governance is put in place. For those of us here, we have no option but to carry on the good spirit in the good ways. He tried to ensure that people live better than what they are.
The large turnout of people at this gathering is a testimony to the fact that the former Second Republic Senate leader lived a life dedicated to service to the people of Kwara State and Nigeria.
The 4 suspended members of the People's Democratic Party have been asked to abide by the party's constitution as regards their suspension from the party. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, the PDP National Publicity Secretary, Chief Olisa Metu, explained that the leadership has a right to suspend any member found culpable of disobeying the party's constitution. The party's National Working Committee had announced the suspension of Alhaji Abubakar Baraje, Dr. Samsam Jaja, Prince Olakunsoye Oyinola, and Ambassador Ibrahim Kazauri from the party.
57.3 says the working committee at any level of the party and the executive committee at the world level, but the working committee at any level of the party may, after preliminary hearing, suspend a member of the party for a period not exceeding 1 month, during which the member so suspended shall lose his right to contest any election and shall be referred to the appropriate disciplinary committee. That is the position of it. On the issue of fair hearing, it is the disciplinary committee that will conduct fair hearing and invite them, listen to them and conduct fair hearing under sections, articles 57, subsection 4, 5 and 6. When we are leaders and we apply, there's only one law, there's only one constitution. It's not meant for different people. There is no different application to individuals. When you fall prey to the provisions of this law, you must, when you contravene it, you must face the wrath of the law.
The police in Owerri have arrested 181 suspects set to be recruited for Saturday's governorship election in Anambra State. The suspects, including males, females and youths, were arrested with 180 valid cards. The Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Katsina, told Newsmen after the arrest that the suspects had entered Owerri and were lodged in a certain hotel on Onitsha Road, where they were meant to thumbprint some ballot papers for an unidentified political party. The police also claimed that 2 pump-action rifles were found on the suspects, along with some charms. The House of Representatives has approved the 2014 to 2016 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, but altered the crude oil benchmark for $79. In a dramatic session that lasted over 3 hours, the House put aside the $76.50 agreed with the Senate and the $74 proposed by the executive. The House, however, retained a $160 exchange rate for a 3-year period and agreed that, should the projected crude production fall below what was budgeted, funds from the excess crude account should be used to boost the yearly budgets. Our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi, reports.
Indications that the plenary would be stormy started with the absence of the chairman of the Committee on Finance, who was to lay the report on the 2014 to 2016 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Shortly afterwards, the House went into a closed-door session that lasted over 2 hours. When the House resumed, the Deputy Chairman was invited to lay the report. It wasn't time to approve the recommendations proposed in the report. The drama began with the crude oil benchmark price.
We'll come back to recommendation number 3. We will take it today. I'll yield to your decision. Recommendation 3. The adoption of USD 76.50 per barrel as a benchmark price for crude oil. Those in favor of this figure say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it.
The minority leader then moved an amendment.
And for the sake of adopting the rolling plan last year of the medium term, that the House do adopt or change number 3 to $79 per barrel.
This position did not go down well with some members.
We should respect the fact that the MTF is a rolling plan, and the suggested rolling plan benchmark price for 2013 was 72.5, Mr. Speaker, and so we should stick to that.
This position did not stop the tide. The other recommendations were passed as agreed with the Senate, such as the exchange rate of $160.
Those in favor of this recommendation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Now, with the fact that both chambers are not agreed on the benchmark price affect the presentation of the 2014 budget.
The medium-term expenditure framework contains about 8 clauses, and only one was somehow different from what the Senate passed. That would be the only subject matter. So I don't see how that would stop Mr. President from coming. Mr. President definitely will be on the floor to present his budget on Tuesday.
Now, it's clear the projections that will eventually be passed in the medium-term expenditure framework will not influence the basis for the 2014 budget, making it almost certain that the budget will have to be reworked and most probably will not be passed this year. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Well, come Saturday, the people of Anambra State will file out to vote for the man that will pilot the state for the next 4 years. The candidates of the various political parties have been wooing voters using various methods. On our big story tonight, our correspondent Nyota Igbe looks at the preparedness of INEC and the key role that will be played by election observers in the exercise.
Instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Little or no activity at the gate of the Anambra State Office of the Independent Electoral Commission hides the beehive of activity within the premises as engineers check on the power generating sites and party agents and INEC officials go about the separation and allocation of election materials. The man at the helm of affairs here, Professor Chukwuemeka Onukogu, isn't left behind in the efforts to ensure every aspect of the election process goes smoothly, checking on the security operatives and staff operations, and finally, he stops to have a conversation with us.
What you are seeing now is one of the innovations we have brought in to the electoral process. We are ensuring that the sensitive materials, we want to ensure that sensitive materials get to the polling units in record time. For Obaru, we are making provision for 6 boats. For Anambra West, we are making provision for 7 boats. For Anambra East, we are making provision for 6 boats, speed boats. So we shall, in the different areas, convert these things by boats to where we'll offload them. We've done all we can to make the voters aware. Though it's not only our responsibility, this responsibility should be a joint responsibility between us and the politicians as well as the entire community. We've done our best to make the voters aware, and I'm sure they are aware.
Elsewhere within the state, election observers are being briefed on the process and their mode of operation on Saturday, November 16.
So far,
A few of them that spoke with us are optimistic.
To me, they have a listening ear. I mean, observers like us have been involved in this process for some time now, more than a decade, and we do give improvement reports after each election. And I want to say that they've started taking into consideration.
if you look at the past preparations, you can see some of the things we are doing as of today cannot be ready as of today. Some of the things we are doing today could have something we could have been doing in the election day in the past. There are tremendous improvements.
INEC's innovation for this election and its hopes of getting materials to centers in record time will be put to test this Saturday. The success will help build confidence in the Commission ahead of the 2015 elections. Nel Taibe, Channels Television News.
Indomie instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
And that's it from the nation's capital. It's back to you, Bimbo.
Thanks, Gloria. And when the news at 10 returns, Lagos government holds conference on living in the city. Please join us again.